Well, it's really amazing to see all of you here. This aula magna full of students. I'm really touched. Welcome, dear students. Good evening. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome all the Master of Science students who are starting their program this week. You started yesterday. And well, first of all, congratulations. You have succeeded in obtaining a place in our programs. And I can say that the selection was really tough. Many applications, strong criteria, and you are here now. You achieved a great result for sure, but this is also a starting point. You are at the beginning of a new adventure, which I'm certain will be very important for you, for your future career, but also for you as for your personal growth. You already, I know that during yesterday and today, you met the director of your program, and you have learned a lot, I'm sure, about your specific program, about rules, about life at Bocconi, about the honor code, and so on and so forth. I want just to add some tips today before introducing our guest speaker and our rector. Well, first, your commitment will be very important in the next 2 years. I recommend that you attend lessons, be proactive and passionate, be curious. The next 2 years will be tough. You will have to study a lot, be very focused on your lessons and exams, and this will require sacrifice. A word that has become quite uncommon, yet do remember that achieving results always require sacrifice and commitment. And these attitudes will be very important for you to develop your knowledge and competencies and to acquire a critical thinking approach to be able to think out of the box. I think that this will be essential in your future because this kind of approach will allow you to address the complex challenges that are increasingly impacting our society and our economy, such as geopolitical issues, disruptive technology transformation, cultural diversity, uncertainty. At this proposal, I want to remind you the amazing range of opportunities that Bocconi will offer you: meetings with companies, recruiting activities, international opportunities, arts and cultural events, sports activities in our new wonderful sports center, initiatives on campus organized by professors and students association, just to mention some of them. And I would like to take this opportunity to have you all here for inviting you on September 15 at 5:00 p.m. for the opening of our Bocconi Arts Gallery, a contemporary arts gallery. And well, I hope to meet you all there. Well, and don't forget that you are in Milan. You have the extraordinary opportunity to live in a wonderful city, a wonderful capital full of opportunities. Well, I also wanted to recommend you to develop relationship with your classmates and professors. You are part of the Bocconi community, and the network you will develop during your stay at Bocconi will be fundamental for your future after your graduation, when you enter the job market and become a Bocconi alumni. And well, I already told to some of you that I already met, it's up to you. to take full advantage of all these opportunities to make the next 2 years really a transformative experience. And this experience commences during these days, and now in particular with our welcome event. And I am delighted to introduce to you our rector, Professor Gianmario Verona, with a welcome address to the class of 2022-2023, who will present Bocconi to you, the history of Bocconi and its values. And I am extremely honored to have with us Alberto Calcagno, Fastweb CEO, who will deliver the keynote speech. Well, Mr. Calcagno, first of all, graduated from Bocconi. He is an alumnus. And he worked for, I tried to summarize a little bit his CV. He worked for international investment banks, specializing in mergers and acquisition in the telecommunication industry. Now, because he is very essential, and he sent a CV very brief, but his experience is not so brief. I tried to give you an idea of our guest speaker. He joined Fastweb he graduated at Bocconi, specializing in, he worked for international investment banks, specializing in mergers and acquisition in the telecommunication industry. He joined Fastweb in 2000, one of the most important telco players in the world. And under his leadership, the company definitely stood out with its innovative positioning, focused on innovation and customer value. When he joined Fastweb in 2000 as head of strategic planning, the company was still in its startup stages. Since then, he has covered various strategic roles within the company. He was from 2005 to 2007, he was a chief financial officer and then chief operating officer. And in 2013, he became CEO. He strongly engaged in sustainability. He stands out as an example of consistency and commitment. Throughout his 20 years experience, he has contributed to shaping and changing the telecommunication market. I had the opportunity to meet him during a dinner speech in our Bocconi alumni community, and I appreciated very much his extraordinary career, his extraordinary results, but in particular the special managerial leadership emerging from his story, completely in line, I think, with the Bocconi values. His speech will allow us to reflect upon the scenarios stemming from the intersectorial convergences involved in the telco, as well as the growing need for innovation and the role played by digital in nurturing sustainability, and other keywords of our life. This will be for you all, I think, an extremely important opportunity to reflect on the competencies which are required to cope with the complex work challenges. But in particular, I invite you to reflect also on the importance of a leadership style which enlightened managerial approaches is based on. Approaches always focused on people, since people's role in a technology-driven world is ever more relevant. And at the end of his speech, you will have the wonderful opportunity to ask questions directly to our guest speaker. Well, thank you to all of you for being here. And now I thank the rector and Mr. Calcagno very much. And I am pleased to invite our rector on stage. Thank you.
So dearest all, good evening to everyone. It is for Bocconi University a distinct pleasure to have you finally all here on campus to get started with this new academic year. Let me reiterate the words of our Dean of the Graduate School, Professor Carù, to first of all congratulate with you. Coming to Bocconi in these days is pretty complicated. It means that you already have a wonderful curriculum. The selection process is very tough. I was kidding with our guest speaker tonight before, given that we are both Bocconiani of the same, let's say, age. So we are dinosaurs, but we are of the same age, more or less. And at our times, it was much easier to come to Bocconi, actually. And so congratulations, first of all. Second thing, welcome to the most beautiful campus in continental Europe. Welcome to the most modern, innovative city in Europe in general. I include also the islands, and try really to do what Professor Carù just said to you. These are two crucial years for your future. This is in my view, and I will be super brief because we are all looking forward to listen to the words of wisdom of Alberto Calcagno, so I will be very brief. But I would like to remark this very crucial point. You are essentially in the last mile of your journey that started many years ago, because basically you have been students since the very beginning, right? This is our modern society's view studies. You study since you are a little kid, and you stop at some point in time if you are lucky enough to continue with the university after a Master of Science. Of course, there will be few nerds that will continue with a PhD program, but this is just people like professors like myself. So these are not part of the average of the society. So I will not include them in this talk, because some of them, of course, will continue studying for many years, and some of them, like me, will continue studying forever. Anyway, so having said this is really the last journey. And so you have to really exploit every single opportunity that you have. And you have to help us in helping you, as they say. So basically, you have to help us to support this final last mile that you will have to drive. And I believe that, again, we are here really with all the skills that you needed to have to come here, because otherwise you would not be here. And I guess that, again, Bocconi is really, a top leading university that can really allow you to this transformative journey and to go to the next level. You have chosen a field, and I'm pretty pleased that, again, the directors of the program already talked to you about the different curricula, the different programs, but the opportunity of being at Bocconi University, of being in a leading institution which is entirely focused in the social sciences. So whatever you will do, be it artificial intelligence, be it political science, be it economics or marketing, whatever, you have the opportunity to talk to a lot of people, to a lot of professors about the broader field in which your topic is included. And this is a great opportunity because, as you know way better probably than myself, the world is becoming super complicated. And the opportunity of having, of course, the interaction with people that have different fields, have different competencies, and in general will give you a potential network which will be super strong in the future is something very important for your future. So try to exploit all the interaction. This campus is incredibly international. So this is the other thing for which I really regret about the fact that at my times we could not have such an opportunity of having more than 100 countries in one single location and having the opportunity to talk all the languages of the world in one single location. Try to learn a lot of things, try to be curious, and more importantly, try to study a lot. Because again, it's not just about the Master of Science. The more you do, the better it is for your future. And remember that we will help you out, but at the end, your resume is yours. It's unique, and you have to build your own competitive advantage in a teamwork, because at Bocconi, we like a lot of teamwork, and you will learn it, of course, throughout the different curricula, but still is about yourself. So try to engage, try to put a lot of energy, and more importantly, try also to have fun, because these are going to be the last 2 beautiful years of your student life, and you will think about them forever in the lifetime. And coming to the guest speaker, Professor Carù has already introduced him, and so I won't say any other word about this impressive curriculum. I will just say two things. In my mind, he represents the perfect modern executives, because he does not simply represents with all his technical skill, the abilities of a good manager, but also with the developmental, let's say, achievements of the company that has been leading for many years, which is Fastweb. I mean, he represents also the skills of a great entrepreneur. And I strongly believe that a modern executive has these two combination, two ambidextrous kind of skills that are not regular in the average manager, and only some people, you know, develops them. And so this is something which is very, very important. The second thing is that he's a wonderful person. He's super passionate in life. He's a sportman. He's an Ironman. I can say that. I shouldn't say that, but he's literally an Ironman. And so again, he represents really the evolution also of what modern executives are. So people that are really always, you know, leading their organization, being very active in all the sense. And so this is something to us very important, because it gives also to you the opportunity to understand, you know, as a visionary leader, how you should someday also be. So again, thank you all very much. Good luck for your future. And let me invite on the podium Alberto Calcagno.
Thank you and welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. I will try to tell you, you know, a story about the future. I think both rector and the dean put a lot of, they underline what is necessary for the next 2 years. But I would like today, in the next, let's say, 20 minutes, to go maybe 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and let's see how the future will be. But I will not talk about innovation. I will not talk about technology. I will talk about, you know, personal behavior. So we start with, you know, this wonderful picture, because today we are going to talk about growth, or how to grow. If you think about that, we deal with this word growth for all our life. Because when we are child, you know, we are growing physically. Then when we are at university, we start to grow in terms of, you know, skills, competencies. And then, you know, there is the, you know, job, occupation, and then we start to grow our career, our revenues, our customer. And then if you think about that, we will be dealing with growth also as a human being, because we want to grow as a human being. But, you know, sometimes people don't know exactly how to grow. And it's useful to have an idea of a method, or you know, maybe a formula, a magic formula to understand and how to make growth possible and feasible. But before that, let me ask you a question. And the question is not who is this guy, because I think that that's relatively easy. You know this guy? No? This is Usain Bolt. 9 gold medal, actually 8 gold medal, because one was canceled. At the Olympic Games, 11 gold medal at the World Championship. But the real question I'm interested in is the following: which is the difference between him and yourself? Is someone can guess which is the difference? Clearly, I'm not referring to anything that is physical, let's say. Any idea? Which is the difference between him and you? To my eyes, the only difference is that is actually today sponsored by Puma and you don't, or at least not yet. And I'm going to show you why. But in order to understand why you are so similar to Usain Bolt, I need to talk about physics. Do you like physics? No. Fantastic. I knew it. But actually, you know, this is a very important formula, but we are not interested in today, maybe. We are dealing with another formula, which is G equal to a strange combination of V times E times C. Do you have an idea what G stands for? Growth. You're very smart. And then, you know, we want to analyze the formula for growth. Then, you know, let's start with the V. Any idea for what V stands for? Is what? Victory? Violence? What else? Sorry? It's vision. It's vision. We will go through vision, but you know, just for a second, let's say, keep this in mind. Then E. What is E? It's not energy. What? Engagement? Yeah, it's a kind of engagement, but even more deep than engagement. Effort? Not yet. We're getting closer. Entrepreneurship, it's a part of, we are talking about execution. Execution. And also, we will go through that. What does it mean? And then we are with the C. Commitment, include commitment, but it's not just commitment. Any other one that has a bit more fantasy? Sorry? I don't get it. Consistency. No, it's not climate. So sorry for Greta, but it's change. Change. So what I'm gonna go through now in the next probably 10 minutes is the formula analyzing these three factors, and now I think it's good to combine them together in order to grow. Let's start with then vision. This formula works for companies, but it works also for human beings. Now, vision for a company basically is, you know, I would say the ultimate goal is what, you know, the let's say employee of a company are following in each ordinary day to reach. So it's what they stand for. They wake up in the morning because they want, you know, to reach and to make concrete this vision. That's what for a company, you know, normally, you know, to make the world better, to make the world richer, to make whatever it is. For Fastweb is to help people to build his own future with trust. If I consider vision from a human being point of view, then vision is very much close to the meaning of ambition. Ambition. And let me do a test here. How many of you in this room have great ambition? Raise your hand. So, a lot. That's extremely good. That's extremely good because unfortunately, in many countries, for sure in Italy, but I believe this is a common problem, we forgot the real meaning of ambition. Because, you know, I don't know why, but normally people try to think ambition with the negative color, with the negative sense. But in reality, the real meaning of ambition is to try to improve, try to be better. And that's why I think ambition is one of the best asset that a human being can have. Even more importantly, if this human being is young as you are. So don't be afraid to be ambitious. Don't be afraid to, let's say, think big. Because the ambition, the higher is the ambition, the higher will be your propension to challenge yourself. And if you think about that, challenge is really the best training for athletes. Usain Bolt, became Usain Bolt because it took much more challenges than anybody else. Certainly was talented, but believe me, he was ready since when he was your age to challenge himself. And again, everybody can take challenges. It's not that someone, is ready, likes to take challenges and others don't. It's just a different shape. You need to train to take challenges. But again, ambition or vision, if we think about company, are incredibly crucial and important because they set the direction. So ambition or vision is the first ingredient, but the second is execution. I don't know whether if you ever, you are very young, but maybe you have brothers and sisters. When you are very, very young and you play a game, actually, you don't laugh. You are really, really focused and concentrated because you want to get it right. And also in this case, if you want to reach growth, you really need to make the vision or the ambition extremely concrete. Because if you are not able to build the bridge between the vision and reality, then the vision will remain a dream, which is not what we have in mind. And in order to execute, you need to have a very strong ally. And this ally is the courage. You need to be brave. To be brave doesn't mean to do foolish things. To be brave means taking initiative, making a lot of mistakes, try always to do, to go out your comfort zone. And this helps you in building a mindset. The capability to execute requires, as the Dean was saying, sacrifice. And you will experience up and downs. But you will learn in the ups, but also in the downs. But again, it's extremely important, from time to time, to ask yourself a question: am I concrete? What am I doing to get my ambition or vision concrete? You need to do things. Otherwise, you will remain dreamer, which is good, but then dreamer needs also to make things. And then we go to the third ingredient, which is, I believe, the most important. Do you have, I think this, of course, it is related to change, to the capability of changing. And believe me, if you are not ready to change, you are not ready to improve. Even Usain Bolt, when it was at the high of his career, was ready to change because, there are new way of training, there are new competitors, there is always a competitive, I would say, dynamic that requires you to challenge yourself and to try to change. And it's important to change not only in the downs, as I was saying before, because in your life it will happen, sometimes will go wrong, you know, something will go wrong. And so clearly you need to change, but it's also important to change when you're doing the right thing. One of the ingredients of the Fastweb success, the company that I represent, we have been growing for 9 years in a row, 36 quarters in a row, in a market that was going in the other direction, that was decreasing. All our competitors have decreased, and we have grown revenues, customers, free cash flow. And the reason for that is that even if when we were leading the market, even today that we are leading the market, we always try to challenge ourselves and to change and to improve. There are two fundamental laws in sport. The first one is that if I train hard, if I push hard, you know, statistically, I will reach my limit. But then there is a second one, which is even more interesting, that is the following. Once you reach your limit, you acknowledge, you realize that actually you can push your limit forward. And so basically, there is no limit. And what was impossible for you only 10 months ago is extremely possible. And actually, you can dare to do much more. So if you put together then this formula, it's up to you how to work on these 3 ingredients, because one thing you need to be sure that you will be dealing with growth for all your life. So what I offer to do to you today is a method that you have to personalize. How can you personalize it? Trying to focus with your style, with your skills on these 3 components. And you have 2 fantastic years in front of you. And my strong, let's say, advice is that, you know, maybe up from one party to another one, from a class to another one. Also sometimes think on building your vision, on building your ambition. Doesn't have to be an obsession. You have a lot of time to think about that. Can be, you know, whenever you want. But do think about your vision. Try to visualize yourself in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years. And, you know, don't be afraid of thinking big. Second, try to execute something. Trying to increase your ability of execution. Don't be, you know, afraid to do mistakes, to fail. It's all, you know, these are mistakes that will make you stronger. Usain Bolt became Usain Bolt because of the many mistakes that he did. And he did a lot of mistakes and also good things because he did a lot of things. He challenged himself a lot of times. So in these 2 years, this is a fantastic moment because it will be more difficult when you will start to work, to build your ambition and capability of execution, because you will be, I would say, exposed to a lot of things, responsibilities. But now, you know, it's a good moment where you have the freedom to think about your ambition, vision, and try to train. Also, the capability of change yourself, to dare, to exit from your comfort zone. You are strong, you are young, don't be afraid. And at the end of the day, chance, the future is not happening by chance. Sometimes chance or fortune, yes, as a piece, a little piece in the formula, but you know, believe me, not more than 5 and 10%. All the rest is in your hands. All the rest is in, I would say, the mindset that you have. And the story I can tell you, the good thing of my speech is that I can confirm you that it works. it worked for me as a human being. You know, they already, let's say, the dean anticipated my CV. I've done a lot of things. I've been, you know, a lot of things. And also my company, as I said, is one, I think one of the, at least in Europe, but I could even think about of a larger portion, you know, is one of the most growing company. So, and I apply always these kind of rules. But the good thing is that these rules is fully customizable. You can make it, this is just, you know, I would say a framework, but you can paint it with your color. That's the story. And then let me do the final test. And let's see if I was enough, I would say, clear. Which is the difference between him and yourselves? After what I said in the last 15 minutes, which is your difference between him and yourselves? That you need to work on your Puma sponsorship. Because for all the rest, you are equal to Usain Bolt. That's it. Thank you.
For a wonderful speech, motivational speech, and after this challenging also speech, I would like to open the questions, and there are someone who want to ask. It may be difficult now to ask questions, but we are here for that. There.
We have a microphone.
Other questions?
Hi, thank you for being here. I just would like to know how this university...
Can you please speak louder?
We can't hear you.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah.
A bit?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just would like to know how this university has been helping you to follow your career and to achieving all your goals. Thanks.
Yeah. I think that, you know, University Bocconi for me was a fantastic bridge because he opened up my mindset, my mentality. I grew up in a little village down 200 kilometers south on the sea, close to Genoa, on the northwestern part of Italy. And to me, already coming here in Milan has been a tremendous shift and change in my life. And but what it's not just a matter, you know, of let's say losing or not seeing friends or not doing sports or you know, not looking the sea every day, but it was again, and it's not even comparable, as the rector was saying, with the, let's say, fortune that you have today, but it was really an opportunity to open up my mind. So to debate, to share, to discuss with other people, with other, let's say, backgrounds, and start to see how important it is to learn from others, from other experience, and to try to get, I would say, the good out of it from everybody. And, you know, also this international allure was important. At that time, London and, you know, investment banks were, even if I've done politics, which is not exactly what you think, you know, I would say the best background to go then for you know, for an investment bank. But at the end of the day, you know, this idea to live and to be exposed to an international, let's say, experience was a tremendous stamina for me. So Bocconi gave me clearly all the competencies. You know, today you will have wonderful classes, wonderful professor, and that was also at my age, you know, 30 years ago. But you know, really the possibility to share experiences, to see companies, to be part of an international network. These are actually, I think, you know, one of the best, let's say, advantages to be here in Bocconi. At the end of the day, Bocconi is a really important brand. So when you can stand with your Bocconi degree, it's you know, you really start with a strong business card. So basically, it's really to be part of a very professional, straight to the point, effective, solid network. Clearly, you need to build, you need to be engaged, you need, you know, the main gasoline of all these is going to be your commitment. But I would say that especially now with, you know, 100 nationalities, with such a wonderful campus, what I think it will be extremely forming for you is really to be part of a super dynamic international network.
Thank you. And well, this is probably also the reason why it's so important to leave the campus and for you to be here in presence, because I think that it's really a great opportunity, let's say, after the last couple of years. There is a question there and probably others.
So to contribute to Italy's digital growth, Fastweb.
Sorry, can you
yes.
speak louder?
So to contribute to Italy's digital growth, Fastweb has created the Next Generation 2025 project. Could you tell us something more about the main objectives of this project, the achievements that you have made so far, and what are the next challenges for the future for Fastweb?
Yeah, I think maybe just a quick, you know, Fastweb at the end of the day, basically is providing services, I would say ICT services to family, to SME, and to big enterprises. And, you know, I would say that for me, and we are doing a lot of things, we are deploying ultra broadband networks, so connectivity, we are building data center, we are building cloud solution. We really try to, let's say, help companies and families to, I would say, exploit a digital transformation, because we do believe that the digital transformation will be, I would say, the real game changer for the country, but also for the human being. We really believe that digital is not really, I would say, something, you know, digital is really, something real. It's like, you know, another language, like English, like French. Digital is going to be the language of the future. Back in the 80s, everybody was looking at English like the language to know in order to travel, in order to have the best work, in order to know the many people. You know, you can say the same thing with digital. Now, for Fastweb, and that might be really counterintuitive, but for us, the real challenge is not really on a technological side, because at the end of the day, technology is just, you know, vision, execution, and change. But the real, let's say, challenge is also to give people, every single person in Italy, because we work in Italy, such digital skills. So we have to teach them in being ready to use the technology that will be available now in the next 5 years. So we are now building really courses, digital courses, to train everyone from child to elderly people, to unemployed people, to people that are already very good with digital skills, because we want to form them in order to have them ready to catch the future jobs, the future occupation that will be entirely based on digital skills. So we have built a Fastweb Digital Academy. We are actually, I invite you to go to visit it, because we basically open an innovation museum or a future museum, which is called STEP, where basically we do two things. We measure to every visitor that enters into STEP. STEP is basically, is not a, I said museum, but it's just an experience. It's basically 45 minutes where through you will exchange information about your interest, about future trends, and basically at the end of the journey we will rate you and we will tell you how much future, how much propension to future you have inside. And second, we will tell you, depending on your interest, on the future jobs that you like, we will present you in this 45 minute slot, 10, 15 jobs of the future. Depending on your interest, we will tell you also, I would say, some specific courses that you can take on top of the one that you are attending here in Bocconi in order to get ready for the digital transformation. So to cut a long story short, for Fastweb, really now we are in a situation where technology is not the main challenge, but the digitalization of people is the most important thing that we can do. And that's where we are spending a lot of time. We are 3,000 employees, and we dedicate 1 week out of the 52 in training each employee, me included, in training people. So that's the real, because don't forget that technology is just a mean, but you need to use, you need to how to use technology. Otherwise, we are losing the best.
It's a very important social challenge, I think.
Yeah.
This one, we can have the last question, I suppose. Okay.
I also have a question about Fastweb. In such a company, obviously capturing new opportunities and understanding new tendencies, let's say, it's surely a key to success. I wanted to ask if you could expand a little bit more about the vision for the management and the time horizon which is taken into consideration for these projects.
Yeah. As I said, the vision of the company today is really to help and support people and company to build their own future, which looks a little bit vague, but in reality is extremely concrete. Our commercial claim is Tu sei futuro, which means I would say future belongs to you, or you are future, which basically it's a kind of reminder, because after these 2 years of pandemic, really a lot of people is afraid about future, and we are all concentrated in our present, because we are scared about things that we don't know. In reality, we really want to enforce optimism again, and we really want to make all people aware that if they want, they really can build their own future. Clearly for us, the best way to do it is through a digital, let's say, transformation, which means that, as I said, I will have to build the best network, the best fixed network, the best mobile network, the best data center, the best cloud solution, the best security solution. But it's not enough. The real game changer, as I was saying, is to help the society to embrace these digital skills. And not only the young guys that maybe knows, and I'm not talking about social. I'm talking really about I would say, speaking the digital language. And you really need to, let's say, to make people aware that even if you are 90, you can really be part of the digital transformation. And the vision, just to give you an idea in terms of number, we want to train 500,000 people. There are at least 2 million of jobs that are based on digital skills. But today, people, unemployed or young people, don't have such digital skills. They don't even think to get the digital skills to get such jobs. Our vision is really to make sure that everybody not only will have the technological, let's say, part, the technological support, but they will have extremely clear that really to embrace digital skills really will allow them to be, I would say, to manage their future. And this is a vision that has, let's say, 5 years from now. But we really need to work since today. There are fantastic jobs that can be managed, you know, if you have the digital skills. Let me tell you one thing. Maybe one is that to me is extremely important because it's sustainable, it's digital, which is the garbage designer. Garbage designer, which looks like a strange thing. But the garbage designer is a fantastic job because basically is the one that when start to think about the product, a life of a product, actually this life doesn't end with the first life of the product, but he imagines already in a second life after the first product is going to be recycled, and maybe a third life and a fourth life of the product. So he really, let's say, measure and design the life from the beginning when this product was, I don't know, whatever, a chair. Then the chair became, I don't know, a piece of a car or, you know, whatever. This is something that can be done if you have, if you know, if you have competencies, chemical competencies, but also digital competencies. It's extremely important for us that people and young, but also, you know, every kind of person will be exposed to this info in order to be ready to choose. So at the end of the day, don't think the vision, you know, can be much broader than the effective market where you operate. Because as I said, Fastweb at the end of the day is a telco or ICT company. But what we are doing is actually really more than that, because we are waking up people and try to let's say, at the end, change their future or change their awareness and their relationship with their future, which is the most important thing, I believe. So go to STEP, which is not far from here, is about probably 500 meters. And I think it will be extremely, let's say, inspiring as well.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, now we are going to give him a small present for after his speech, but I want really to thank our guest speakers. And well, you can join me, but I would like to say a couple of words to conclude, because, you know, when I wrote this speech for you, because every time I need to write my speech, short or long, it doesn't matter, but I need that. I concluded with the sentence, well, I wish you all the best for your future, or something like that. And then I asked me a question, and it was, but what do I mean with the best future? And well, I wanted to share with you the answer also because in some ways it's related to the speech of Alberto. And I wish to you that your experience at Bocconi will allow you, first of all, during the first 2 years, to understand your ambitions, your vision, your goals, your ideas. Then to fulfill your ambitions, your goals, your visions, and at the same time, spur your desire and your courage to contribute to making our society a better society. And with these words, I wish you good luck for your future. And I would like to have on stage also the rector and our guest speaker for the final applause. We have a present for you. And this is, well, a book and something that the rector can describe to you, I think, if you want.
Sì, ok, va bene.
It's a sport-related gift. Okay.
Grazie.
This is for
Grazie.
you. Thank
Ciao,
you.
ciao a tutti. Best of luck.